All right, welcome, future macro millionaires. If you're tuning into this right now, you're kind of like, I really want to be a coach. I'm thinking about being a coach. I just don't know. Maybe the evidence just isn't there for you. And I think there's just no better person for you to get to meet and listen to and watch as Chase Kaufman. He is the owner of No Limit Strength and Nutrition. And the reason I say this is, so Chase, I reached out to you because you had done my bodybuilding shows, if I recall. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I reached out to you, gosh, was it 2 years ago?
At least. I think it was when you guys were launching all this.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 2.5, 3 years ago. And from going off memory, I don't think we really had any conversation. I don't think you just responded. I was kind of came in, I think you'd be good for this. And there's just kind of no response. And then we've kind of like resurrected the conversation, I think maybe a year later. And then I think maybe a year after that, you were kind of like, hey, can we talk?
Yep.
So kind of walk me through like what was going on in your head, like through those like a couple years that it took to be like, hey, we need to talk.
Well, I mean, when you first reached out to me, I saw it and I didn't like really think anything of it at first because I'm like, oh, well, maybe down the road. But when like at that point I was running a couple gyms, like the GM of the gyms, and I was like, you know what, I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at. Like I don't want to like take a step. Like I feel like I didn't want to take that step, like I was worried about making money, worried about like what happens if it doesn't work. And then
right.
A few years go by and I've worked for people for the last 8 years or so, and I've realized that I'm good at what I do. I enjoy what I do. And like instead of making other people money, why not make myself some money instead and enjoy and actually help people out while I'm doing it, have more reach.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's just such a big mindset shift because it's not like your heart all of a sudden changed. You had a servant's heart. We're just kind of talking about this. Like you've always had a servant's heart helping people out in the health and fitness realm. It's just now you're doing it as your own business instead of doing it for somebody else.
Yep.
I
very much enjoy helping people. So
yeah, no, absolutely. What were some of the fears that you had? Because even when you're like, hey, wait a minute, the light bulb is on. I could be doing this exact same thing, sharing my passion for health and fitness with other people for my own. There still was probably some fears there. What kind of helped you kind of get over some of those fears and just be like, you know what, I gotta break this pattern,
Well, it was I think a few months ago actually, which is crazy. But my wife and I just started talking about it, and we were just like, I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna do coaching, one way or the other. I'm gonna be an online coach. I don't know how it's gonna work.
Right.
I'm just gonna. That's what I'm gonna have my brain set to, and that's what I'm gonna do. And then funny enough, I put a month notice in at work, and then just literally like a day or two after, had a conversation with you because I was like, I was gonna make it work no matter what.
Yeah,
and then talking to you, I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like they're literally walking you through the process that I was like, would have taken me probably 2-3 months just to do myself, like it's been very helpful.
That's awesome, man. I love the burn the ships, man. I don't think I knew that you put your month notice before you. Dude, that's hardcore, man. That is awesome.
I knew I was going to do it, and I knew I was going to make it work somehow. So
yeah, we talk about that, and that's probably one of the reasons. You're only 30 days in. You already have 5 clients. You're building revenue. You're rocking and rolling. But I think when you have that mentality, like you're like, hey, there's nothing to fall back on. I'm either going to help other human beings get to abundant health and create time and financial freedom for my family, or not. Yep. There's no go around and there's no go back. The only way is through. And that's awesome. So what was like your first month like? So you're just, I didn't know that about the month's notice. That's cool. So what was your first month like walking through with MacroMillionaire?
Well, I was still working like the 50 plus hours a week and then doing that on the side. So honestly, I've only really been doing it by myself, like without anything else for about a week, not even a week. So that first month was kind of like whenever I had free time, I would try to get on the calls. I would try to reach out to people in the morning, post throughout the day if I could, and then whenever time allowed, I would get stuff out there. So
yeah. Wow. So, I mean, that's over $5,000 of gross revenue in 30 days where you're not even working it. How excited are you now that you're like, dude, I'm gonna work this bad boy.
Very excited, and I definitely I've at this point there's no more like, hey, I don't have enough time to do it. It's more like I got all day to do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
And
double.
I love your mentality. I was the same way, man. When we opened up our first business, there was no plan B. It was like do or die. But I also love the fact, like, let's just pretend, we're really out reaching out here. Let's just pretend you absolutely loved your job. It was rosy. You absolutely loved it. You're still able to bring revenue in, even if it was on a super, super part-time basis. So I think that's pretty cool, man.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what would you tell a coach? So what would you tell yourself, maybe, I don't know, a year ago, or a coach is just like, they're just caught in that pattern of fear. A big pattern a lot of entrepreneurs have, or future entrepreneurs, is they get to 99%, and then the law of diminishing return sets in, and then they come down. And then like 6 months later, it's a 6-month pattern. They get to 99%, then they come back down. What would you tell someone who's at that like 99%?
Just do it. I mean, if you don't just do it, you're going to keep having that constant like battle with yourself. It's going to be, oh, I should have done this. And you're going to look at 10 years down the road, like, oh, I should have done this when I had the opportunity. Now I have now I have way more things going on that I can't even, it gets a lot more difficult, especially as you get older, I would imagine. But right now I'm in a pretty good spot with my life. So,
Yeah.
but I would say just do it. I mean, don't, like, if you continue to beat around the bush, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Awesome. Now, as far as like level of support, how do you feel as far as support goes, with your business development coaches and things like that?
I don't think I could have picked a better business to go with,
That's
better
awesome,
person
man.
to go with. So
That's awesome. Well, Chase, man, I can't believe you're 30 days in, and I can't wait to see what you're doing in 90 days, 180 days. And I'm telling you, man, mark my words, dude, speak into the lapel, speak into the microphone. You are going to be a business mentor for other coaches in the future. I can just kind of tell it when I see it, man. So if that ever is something you want to do on your heart, I think that's something that you definitely have more than the potential to do. So that's exciting to me too.
definitely love to do that for sure.
Awesome. Well, Chase, thank you so much for your time. And team, if you're watching this right now and you want to talk to Chase a little bit more, you can find him on social media. Chase Kaufman. You can go to MacroMillionaire.com, check out his profile. And if you're watching this and you're like, Jesse, I don't want to be a coach, I need a coach, then he is your man. Okay. So if you're watching this and you're like, maybe one day, maybe a year or so down the road, but right now we got to take care of this. We've got to take care of my personal fulfillment or my abundant health. I need to get there. Then check this guy out. Thank you so much for your time, Chase.
Thanks, Jesse.